Welcome back, fellow historians, to the history of colonial and revolutionary New York. So today our teaching point is historians learn about the colonies by examining the life of a settler. In our previous lessons, we learned that the age of exploration brought many explorers to the New World, as they called it, or to America. And Henry Hudson was an explorer that claimed New York for the Dutch. And today we're going to explore how the Dutch and the British governments ruled over New York. So the materials you're going to need is a notebook, a pencil, and your investigating hat. You can pause this video now and copy down your teaching point and gather your materials. All right, so in 1624, the Dutch formed the first colony in New York and named it New Amsterdam. 2 years later, the Dutch governor, Peter Minuit, purchased land from the Algonquin tribes. However, the Native Americans did not know they were selling their land to the Dutch. They thought they were trading, but to the Dutch, they believed that the Native Americans were selling their land. And so this led to many years of tension and mistrust between the Native Americans and the Europeans. And eventually, in 1641, war between the Native Americans and the Dutch happened. Now, in 1664, New Amsterdam fell under the control of the British government, and for some time, the Dutch government regained control, but in 1674, it officially became a colony of the British monarchy. And the British government decided to change New Amsterdam into New York. So just a reminder, I'm going to go over what a colony means. A colony is a country or an area that's under the political control of another country. That means New York was under the control of the British government at that time. Everything that they grew, the crops and everything that they made, as well as any monies that they gain, eventually they had to pay that back to the British government because the British government owned that land. All right. So in 1732, Georgia, the state of Georgia, became the last colony of Britain, and that formed the 13 colonies. And at that time, no one else in present-day United States was owned by any European country except for Britain. So at this period in time, these colonies belonged solely to Britain. In the 1600s and 1700s, many settlers came to America for many different reasons. And one reason was because they wanted religious freedom. And those groups were called Pilgrims and Puritans. You're going to come across these two names a lot in our future readings. All right, guys, so now it's your turn. What you're going to do is you're going to follow a pilgrim, and you're going to watch the video called Pilgrim Life. And I want you guys to keep this question in mind. Would you like to live as a colonist? And why or why not? So when you're watching the video, make a note of what life was like, what were some things that pilgrims had to do or the colonists had to do, and think about whether or not you would have liked to live at that time. All right, I'll see you guys in our next lesson.